Elon Musk, a peace agent. The ongoing Russia-Ukraine war has affected every single human being on planet Earth. Since it began in February 2022, the world witnessed serious, geopolitically driven economic patterns and changes that benefited some nations and harmed others. And of course, everyone expected Elon Musk to sooner or later provide an insight about the war that would once again turn the internet into an erupted volcano spewing comments, opinions, and articles about Musk. So, what did Musk say and propose, and why? Is he an agent of peace, or does he have a hidden business agenda? Let's have a look. The sad truth is, most people did not and still do not even know that the conflict is more about NATO expansion plans than Ukraine itself. Indeed, Russia and NATO, which is headed by the USA, have been aware that if Ukraine moved towards joining NATO, a war will break out. If you do not know why NATO and Russia are enemies and consider each other an existential threat, then all you have to do is read how both sides have been locked in a Cold War that almost went nuclear many times. This leads us to the superiorly strategic critical thinker and one-of-a-kind brilliant innovator Elon Musk and his recent dive into global geopolitics by proposing some quite bold plans for ending the war in Ukraine and preventing the whole China-Taiwan dispute from turning into a full-scale invasion. Many believe that his proposals are out of this world crazy talk. However, what he proposed is nothing new and has been echoed by many politicians and analysts since before the war started. Elon proposed in simple words that Ukraine should forget about Crimea, which by the way it kind of was doing before the war, and have the United Nations conduct a referendum vote in the Donbas region and other areas that recently decided to join Russia, and also to provide guarantees that it will not join NATO ever. His proposed plan fired back faster than you can spell Ukraine and landed him in hot waters. And as usual, he is standing his ground and insisting that people should naturally seek peace and not wait to be directed toward it. Now he is being accused of being a Russian spook and on Putin's payroll. This is quite hilarious since Musk is the de facto richest and most successful innovator and businessman man in the whole world. At the same time, everyone seems to have forgotten that Elon Musk provided Starlink, the satellite internet access service offered by his aerospace company SpaceX, to Ukraine for free. So far, roughly 20,000 Starlink satellite units have been donated to Ukraine, with Musk tweeting just past Friday that the operation has cost SpaceX $80 million and will exceed $100 million by the end of the year. Nevertheless, on October 4, 2022, everything changed after he proposed his controversial peace plan. He went from a hero to the devil in mere hours, due to the rage of the mainstream media and its armies of social media warriors. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned Musk's suggestions, and votes were denounced by Kyiv and Western governments as illegal and coercive. Zelensky responded with his own poll. Which Elon Musk do you like more? Zelensky tweeted, offering two possible responses: one who supports Ukraine or one who supports Russia. This leads us to wonder if Elon Musk's peace plan is driven by a hidden business agenda. The answer is an absolute yes. Elon Musk does not need money. His corporations and investments are stable, growing, and defying all negative expectations and predictions. So what is Musk's agenda? Well, he is seeing the actual formation of a new global world order take place. Indeed, Russia and China have been working on this new global order for a while and have been speaking about it publicly and in great detail in the past 2 years. Elon Musk is simply seeing how the hidden massive shifts in the global economy and financial system are starting to affect business. It is a reality that is becoming true, and it is turning the globe into multipolar order headed by Russia, China, and the USA. So why peace in Ukraine is so important for Musk? Because it translates into better business opportunities for his current and future projects in Europe and a stronger customer base. It also opens new doors for his expansion in Russia. Musk also opened a massive multi-billion-dollar Tesla factory in Germany recently. Indeed, the economic and financial situation in the EU needs peace in Ukraine. It is as simple as people being able to either pay for food, gas, electricity, and heating bills or lawn, Musk's Teslas, and other products. And since the war has a very strong global effect on the prices of necessities and energy, then it has to end now, or his global business operations and their desirable growth rates will be affected negatively. It is not science, it has nothing to do with politics. It is purely a legitimate call for peace with a focus on economic growth and business. Talking about China, Taiwan escalating conflict, Mr. Musk said, "My recommendation would be to figure out a special administrative zone for Taiwan that is reasonably palatable, and it's possible, and I think probably, in fact, that they could have an arrangement that's more lenient than Hong Kong," he added. Mr. Musk's suggestion to establish Taiwan as a special administrative zone was gladly welcomed by China's ambassador to the U.S., Qin Gang, who said on Twitter that peaceful reunification and the one country, two systems model used in governing Hong Kong were China's basic principles for resolving the Taiwan question. Clearly, Musk's proposal for Taiwan is also a business-driven and aims to please China, which has 1.45 billion potential customers for Musk's and Western products in general. China is a global economic superpower, and its corporations are hard to compete with since they represent a critical and irreplaceable part of the West's supply chain. A war in Taiwan and an intervention from NATO coupled with sanctions can literally mean the demise of Tesla, along with other giant corporations such as Apple. Even in the middle of the rising tensions in the South China Sea and Taiwan, the German manufacturer Volkswagen has just announced plans to expand its operations in China. This move is part of an ongoing, truly heated competition between Tesla and Volkswagen. This probably makes you wonder, if all this is true, then why did giant corporations such as Alphabet, which owns Google, and Meta, which owns Facebook, turn their platforms into a theater for the slaughter of Russia and increasingly China? These corporations are not manufacturers and are not welcomed in China or Russia. They have no business interest there. In fact, China is the only nation on Earth that can replace their services on a global scale in a whiff. These corporations have also been losing their heads since TikTok, which is owned by the Chinese giant ByteDance, invaded the American and European markets and put a serious dent in their balance sheet. In a nutshell, there is simply no mutual business interest between China and Western-owned social media platforms. But rather, there is a war for the global control of social networks. On the other hand, every single manufacturer in the West has a great and critical business interest with China, and to a lesser extent with Russia, which, as the war in Ukraine proved, is the world's backbone of natural resources. So technically, Elon Musk's proposal is a call by manufacturers across the West for hostilities in Ukraine to cease and for peace to prevail, even if it came at the expense of Ukraine giving up on the territories it has already lost. Of course, Elon Musk did not sit idle in the face of all the harsh criticism and showed no signs of giving in. He first explained that his peace plan is borrowed from reality. Then he warned that without peace it is possible that the conflict could become a global World War II. Musk said, "I still very much support Ukraine, but am convinced that massive escalation of the war will cause great harm to Ukraine and possibly the world. Russia is doing partial mobilization. They go to full war mobilization if Crimea is at risk. Death on both sides will be devastating. Russia has 3 times the population of Ukraine, so victory for Ukraine is unlikely in total war. If you care about the people of Ukraine, seek peace." All this made his relationship with Washington to worsen. When asked whether Elon Musk posed a threat to national security, President Joe Biden said Wednesday that the billionaire's relationships with other countries is worthy of being looked at. Standing up against praised Joe Biden, proclaiming freedom of speech on his recently acquired platform Twitter, Musk is acting as independent thinker and brave peace and humanity ambassador, which make people to admire him and listen to what he has to say. That's all for today's video. Please give us a like, subscribe, and we will see you soon.